live and breaking with the latest that's coming in from the national capital, where security has been heightened outside Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's house. Now this after the AAP Minister Atishi in a social media post claimed that the party had information about the possible arrest of Arvind Kejriwal after a raid by the ED at Chief Minister's residence today. So that's essentially the claim being made by the AAP, that Kejriwal could get arrested today and that raid by the Enforcement Directorate will also take place at Arvind Kejriwal's residence. So questions now rife, in fact speculations rife, whether Arvind Kejriwal's arrest is imminent in the liquor gate. Let's first listen in to reactions coming in from the BJP sharpening attack on the Aam Aadmi Party over the liquor gate probe.
केजरीवाल उनकी पूरी टीम लगता है मनोहर कहानियां गढ़ने में महारत हासिल है इन लोगों के अंदर। कल देर रात से इनके ट्वीट और वीडियो चल रहे हैं कि आज अरविंद केजरीवाल के यहां ईडी की रेड हो सकती है और उनको गिरफ्तारी हो सकती है। मुझे नहीं पता इनको ये इन्फॉर्मेशन कहां से मिली, लेकिन कानून के तहत कोई कुछ भी होगा तो उसकी पे कार्रवाई होगी। ये कानून के तहत सब कुछ हो रहा है। 3 बार से आप ईडी के सम्मन को जानबूझकर इवेट कर रहे हैं। कानून के तहत कानून आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। कानून से ज्यादा आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट विपाशना है। कानून से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट आपके लिए मध्य प्रदेश के और छत्तीसगढ़ के चुनाव है। लेकिन ईडी के सवालों के जवाब देना आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। ईडी को अपने सवालों के जवाब चाहिए। मुझे नहीं मालूम आपके यहां वो आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे, लेकिन कभी न कभी आपको ईडी के पास जाना ही पड़ेगा, आज नहीं तो कल। बहुत सारे सवालों के जवाब है। जिस प्रकार से के अरविंद, जो मनीष सिसोदिया की पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी हैं, उन्होंने साफ कहा कि अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर पर उनकी मौजूदगी में ड्राफ्ट डॉक्यूमेंट दिया गया जिसमें 5% से 12% कमीशन की गई। इसके सवालों के जवाब तो आपको देने अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 350 करोड़ का मनी ट्रेल का जिक्र किया है, उसका सवालों का जवाब तो आपको देना ही है। तो ऐसे तमाम सवाल हैं ईडी के जिसको आपको देना है। आप कब तक भागेंगे अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब? ये जो डर है आपका कि कहीं ना कहीं जिस दिन भी आपको सवालों पे जवाब देने के लिए जाएंगे आप गिरफ्तार हो जाएंगे, यही डर दिखाता है कि आपने भ्रष्टाचार किया है। असली मास्टरमाइंड जो है इस पूरे भ्रष्टाचार के, वो अरविंद केजरीवाल हैं। तो आज नहीं तो कल जब भी होगा अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब, कानून के तहत आप पे कार्रवाई होगी, ये साफ नजर आ रहा है।
आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता शोर मचा रहे हैं कि उनके मुख्यमंत्री कभी भी गिरफ्तार हो सकते हैं। मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आता कि चोरी भी की है, भ्रष्टाचार भी किया है और अब हंगामा भी करवा रहे हैं। जांच एजेंसी क्या इन्हें बताकर आएगी या जांच एजेंसी किसी को बताकर आती है? गिरगिट की तरह रंग बदलने वाले अरविंद केजरीवाल, आपको जांच एजेंसी ने मौका दिया कि आप साक्ष्य रखिए, लेकिन आप भागते रहे। भगोड़ों की तरह व्यवहार आपने किया, लेकिन आज सुबह से मैं देख रहा हूं कि चोरों की बारात शोर मचा रही है, हंगामा बरपा रही है। अरे भ्रष्टाचार किया है, चोरी की है, अपनी चोरी को भी इवेंट बनाना चाहते हैं आप। शर्मनाक है आपका व्यवहार।
All right, so there you heard the BJP training guns at the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's go across to Piyush Ori, who's reporting live from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Piyush, once again to begin with, take us through the kind of reasons that have been cited by Arvind Kejriwal for skipping the ED summons, because first it was the Vipassana camp that he had to attend, and now he says that he has to prepare for the Lok Sabha elections, which is why he did not did not go for the ED summons.
So good morning, Samiksha, and good morning to all our viewers who are viewing us at the moment. And you rightly mentioned that for the third time, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal skipped the summons, and there were several excuses, as one would say, of him skipping the summons. The first one was him going for the elections of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. For the second one, he said that he had to attend the Vipassana session, and for the third one, he said that the summons that have been served to him is illegal, and there are certain questions that Enforcement Directorate now should also answer of what is going to be asked from them by AAP convener Arvind Kejriwal. Having said that, the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal has maintained its line that the Central Agency Enforcement Directorate is doing all this at the behest of a political party. It is doing all this of maligning the party, and it is doing all this to do a witch hunt. Having said that, there are now a lot of speculations of which has been said by the Aam Aadmi Party of there being an imminent arrest of Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal following the raid. Now, as you can see from the visuals over here, that there is a heavy security over here. There is a lot of huddle. There is a lot of hustle and bustle over here following the statements by several Aam Party leaders saying that there is going to be a raid that is going to be conducted over here at the residence of Arvind Kejriwal, following which there is going to be an arrest. Now, it is also important to note that two important leaders, namely Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia, have already been arrested in this case, and which states they had also gone to the court citing that they required a bail, but it was denied to them. Having said that, there are definitely some very important evidences. There are definitely some very concrete evidences which the central agencies, which includes not only the Enforcement Directorate but also the Central Bureau of Investigation, that have submitted itself to the court, following which the bail of these two leaders have been denied. And now, with there being speculations, with there being statements that the kingpin of all this reported scam is Arvind Kejriwal, the central agencies now are trying their best to also probe Arvind Kejriwal, trying to establish and trying to know about what his possible role in it. But as you can see, that there is now a lot of politics being played in it. The Aam Aadmi Party on its side is saying that this is all a witch hunt, this is all an attempt to arrest Arvind Kejriwal, and today they say that it was an attempt today to conduct raids over here, following which the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal would have been imminent. Will it happen? Will it not? Only time will tell. But right now, the situation over here at the ground is that there is a lot of political hustle and bustle. Back to the studio.
Right, Piyush, stay with us. Let's go across to Harsha as well, who's also there outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Harsha, once again for our viewers, if you can talk us through the kind of probe that has happened so far in the liquor gate and the kind of questions probably that the ED has been seeking from Arvind Kejriwal, under whom the liquor policy came into effect.
So, Samisha, right now we know that the several arrests took place in the now scrapped Delhi liquor policy. Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia are already in jail in connection with the irregularities in the Delhi liquor policy case. But as my colleague Piyush Ori was telling you that how the security has been enhanced outside Arvind Kejriwal residence, following which Saurabh Bhardwaj, Atishi and Jasmine Shah all have not only tweeted but also stated that this entire ED raid will be politically motivated because Arvind Kejriwal has nothing done wrong and they have nothing to showcase Enforcement Directorate and the agency, and that is the reason why this raid is being conducted. And they also question the timing of the raid just before the Lok Sabha election. Samisha, I like our viewers to look at the visuals right now outside Arvind Kejriwal residence because the security is heightened. Right now the time when the agency will be arriving for the raids is yet not known, but yes, this is the third time when Arvind Kejriwal has escaped the summon. Samisha, the first summon was issued to Arvind Kejriwal on 2nd of November, the second on 21st of November, and the third one yesterday. And he skipped all three summons. He didn't come and appear in front of the Enforcement Directorate agency and said that the intention of the agency was politically motivated. He also stated that it is just before the Lok Sabha election, and he also said that the questions were not given to me in writing, and that was the statement. That was the letter or mail which was given by CM Arvind Kejriwal to Enforcement Directorate in response of the summon, and he did not appear for all these three times. And right now we know that the major people are in custody of the agency because they have accepted that how the irregularities happened in the Delhi liquor excise policy, how there was a huge nexus of the bureaucrats and the government, and how from south to north several licenses was changed changed from the wholesale to the commercial ones, and how the companies which were banned were also given the license in this scrap Delhi liquor excise policy. And that is the reason why Dinesh Arora also turned the witness in this entire liquor policy gate. But the Arvind Kejriwal, who is said to be the main kingpin by the BJP as well. Now, the political war of words have already erupted from the BJP leaders like Shehzad Poonewala, and others have been stating that the main kingpin of the Delhi liquor excise policy is Arvind Kejriwal, under whose behest Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia and the ex-excise commissioner all were performing and making this Delhi liquor excise policy. And that is the reason why Arvind Kejriwal should be arrested, and the thorough investigation in this now scrapped Delhi liquor excise policy is needed. And that is the reason why continuously, Samisha, summons were given to Arvind Kejriwal, but not single time Delhi Chief Minister appeared in front of the agency. So right now we are here outside the Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal's residence, and right now the visuals are also on our screen. Continuous movement of the police officials outside the residence of Delhi CM. So now we have to wait and watch exactly what time the agency will be coming. But late at night, we saw that how Atishi, Saurabh Bhardwaj, Jasmine Shah all stated that today the raids will happen, and not only raids, Delhi CM might also get arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Back to you, Samisha.
Right. Harsha, stay with us. Let's go across to Piyush again, who's also outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Piyush, talking about the kind of remarks that have come in from the BJP, it's a very pointed attack, clearly maintaining that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin of the whole scam. Give us an idea about the kind of questions that we can expect, rather the kind of interrogation that is expected, if at all Arvind Kejriwal does appear before the ED or that arrest happens by the Enforcement Directorate.
So you've raised two important points, Samiksha, and yes, definitely there's a political rhetoric which has been there ever since the Central Bureau of Investigation first conducted raids at the residence of Manish Sisodia, following which the Enforcement Directorate also stepped in. And from the time these raids have occurred, and from the time the associates that involve Dinesh Arora to Amit Arora and all other associates that also includes Manish Sisodia and Sanjay Singh have been arrested, we have been saying that there has been a sharp frontal attack from Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, leaving aside the political rhetoric, there are definitely some very important questions that would be asked by the Enforcement Directorate if and when they ask questions from Arvind Kejriwal, and if and when they get a chance to probe Arvind Kejriwal in this alleged Liquorgate scam. Now, the first question which definitely the central agencies is going to ask Arvind Kejriwal is that what was the requirement of increasing the commission rate from 5% to 12%? Was there a quid pro quo which was maintained, in which certain liquor distributors and manufacturers were favored over others? Why were there certain favored zones that were given to these liquor manufacturers and dealers? So there are some very important questions that need to be asked. There are some very important questions that need to be asked by the central agencies from Arvind Kejriwal, that was there actually a quid pro quo that was maintained under the watch of Arvind Kejriwal. Now, mind you, it is very important to note that two important leaders, namely Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia, have already been arrested in this case. They had approached court and their bails were denied, which indicates that definitely the central agencies have been able to submit an evidence which in a way has been also accepted by the court. It is also important to note that another key associate of Aam Aadmi Party, namely Vijay Nair, who was the marketing manager of this party, Aam Aadmi Party, has been there in the jail for a year. And as rightly mentioned by my colleague Harsha, that Dinesh Arora, who was arrested in this case, has turned out to be a government witness, and he too has given some very startling revelations in which he has maintained that how the associate of Sanjay Singh was trying to buy shares in the liquor manufacturers and dealers, in which they were giving benefits to these liquor manufacturers. So yes, some very startling revelations have come forward, and thereby the Enforcement Directorate as well as the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is investigating this matter, want to ask some very tough questions to Arvind Kejriwal, in which they want to maintain, they want to establish, was there a pro quid pro that was maintained by Arvind Kejriwal in this entire matter in which there were certain liquor manufacturers and dealers that were benefited. Back to you in the studio.
Right. Piyush, just stay with us. Let's quickly go across to Harsha again. Harsha, anything you're learning from your sources in ED? Is that arrest imminent? Are the ED sources telling you that a raid probably is on the cards? And what is it exactly that is making the Aam Aadmi Party so jittery in the first place?
So right now what we have got to know, Samiksha, that through all the raids which has happened earlier this year in 2022 and in the start of 2023 as well, we have seen more than 25 locations were raided in 7 states and UTs as well. And there were several raids which are also conducted after the interrogation with the Delhi Excise Chief Commissioner Arawa Gopi Krishnan and also Dinesh Arora and several other licensee. And after that, when last year in February, the first time when Manish Sisodia's house was raided, he was later on arrested after thorough questioning by the Enforcement Directorate and how Manish Sisodia was involved. His signatures were there and how at particular timelines, several meetings he had with the liquor policy, with the liquor wholesale licensee, the owners and everyone at the certain locations, not only in Delhi but outside Delhi as well. After that, we saw Sanjay Singh was questioned in October and he was also arrested in the October late last year only. And after that, in April last year, if you remember, Samiksha, CBI interrogated and CBI questioned Arvind Kejriwal for almost 6 hours. 56 questions that time were posed to Arvind Kejriwal exactly how this entire policy was framed, who initially framed this policy, how the licensees were given the license, how come the L1 was changed to the commercial licensees, and how the companies which were banned in South were given the licenses here, and also how now government had much role and how private players in a huge way were involved in the now scrapped Delhi liquor excise policy. But Samiksha, looking at the condition right now, as early in the morning, the huge security deployment was here outside the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. But now if you look at the visual, not many police officials are deployed outside Arvind Kejriwal residence. Earlier, this entire road was barricaded. Even the vehicles were not allowed. Each and every person and staff's IDs were being checked. But now as we see the visuals, the security is now light. There's not heightened security as it was early in the morning. But yes, for sure, we know through our sources in agency that the raids will be conducted, because the raids are already being conducted in different places in connection with the Delhi liquor excise policy, which is now scrapped. But yes, arrest will happen or not, that will only depend on the agency's raids, exactly how Arvind Kejriwal is directly connected with the Delhi liquor excise policy making, and whether he is kingpin, whether on his behest Manish Sisodia and Sanjay Singh were involved in the framing and the irregularities of the new Delhi excise policy, and how whether he was directly involved with the licensees and the wholesale owners or not. These are still the questions which Arvind Kejriwal, Delhi CM, has to answer to the agency, because the first case was registered by CBI, and on the CBI's charge sheet only, Enforcement Directorate later took on the case when the money laundering was also involved in this new Delhi liquor excise policy. So Samiksha, right now we have to wait and watch exactly when the Enforcement Directorate, the agencies will be arriving at the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. But for now, the security movement is light. It is not as heightened as it was early in the morning, which we see few police officials right now deployed here, but not as much. So we are waiting for exactly the news which comes from the Enforcement Directorate, exactly when the agency will be arriving. Samiksha, back to you.